Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen if you are new. I am filming a video today because I'm officially 20 weeks pregnant and I'm pregnant with my second. I just want to have a chit chat with you guys about the things that I am going to do differently the second time around now that I had James as my guinea pig, and I want to do a lot of things differently because I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I wanted this conversation to flow a little bit more organically and also just get opinions from other moms. So I posted in a Facebook group that I'm in called the Babies Due in January of 2025 group. So I wanted to just kind of get some of their opinions. Truth be told, this is my second time filming this part of the video because I was watching video back from yesterday trying to film this, and I had stuff all in my hair. My necklace was all out of whack and it was just bugging me. It's out of whack right now. The first topic of conversation that I want to hit, because it was a very big conversation in the comment section, was the topic of breastfeeding, and I guess just the way that you feed your child in general. So if you do not breastfeed at all and don't plan on it and just whatever, then I would just skip forward a little bit. A lot of the people in this comment are saying that they want to, I filmed the second half of this video earlier during nap time. So now I have my son here with me. So it's gonna be chaotic. But anyway, so a lot of moms said that they wanted to exclusively breastfeed this time around, try harder, nurse longer. I nursed James for about 26 months, and I really appreciated the flow that we had because I did not nurse on demand after a certain point with him. So I really had a set schedule. Toward the 1.5 year mark, we were only nursing once or twice a day, and I liked that because I knew he was still getting some nutritional benefits from the breast milk even post a year because he really isn't that great of an eater. So that was one thing. The idea of just using it to soothe him, which I really tried not to do, but sometimes it was really helpful whenever things were really bad. So that was good, and just not having to clean bottles and whatnot. But I will say that the topic of bottles came up a lot, and I agree that I will make sure that with James, I will make sure that with my second baby, that they take a bottle much sooner. And what's weird about the feeding situation that I had with James is I did not nurse him until about a month into him being born. I did formula at first at the hospital because I couldn't get him to latch and I needed to give him something, and I was not pumping enough. I never was an oversupplier. I did the bare minimum. So I didn't nurse him until a month, and he did take a bottle at first, and then we stopped giving him bottles because we didn't really have to. And I remember being at about 7 months postpartum with James, and I had to go to a wedding, so I had to get him to take a bottle, and it took months to find a bottle that he took. I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. I want to be able to leave my baby a lot sooner than 7 months because it caused so much stress. I even got to the point where I was begging the bride to let me bring James, and I know that that's probably so triggering and maddening for some of you because you wanted a childless wedding, and I'm sure you got pushback. I was that annoying person that was asking to bring my newborn to the wedding, not newborn, but my baby to the wedding because I couldn't leave him without a bottle. It was a blessing that the bride stood firm in not wanting me to have James there because I ended up finding a bottle that he took, and it ended up working out. I got a little break from James. That's that as far as bottles. I guess, let me actually enter this other comment into this segment. It says that somebody wants to do glass bottles this time versus plastic, and I was actually able to ask her why, and she said it was because there was a lawsuit against a company that makes bottles called Advent and they had a lawsuit for the plastic bottles having microplastics. I don't know what that means. Do with that information what you will. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I hate being like, I'm just gonna use what I have. If I can afford to get glass bottles, then I will get glass bottles, but I already have bottles and they're plastic and I'm okay with them. Does that make me a bad mom? I'm hiding my son because he's just in the diaper, but I do want to add that I want to make sure that I have a stash of breast milk for my baby, because I did not. Like I said, I produced the bare minimum and I think that I could have controlled that a little bit more, maybe. I want to use a Haakaa. I did not use a Haakaa. I definitely want to do that. And if you don't know what a Haakaa is, it basically collects, it's a silicone pump. It's not anything that's mechanical or anything, but basically they suggested that you just set the Haakaa on your breast while your baby is nursing on the other to collect the milk that just naturally falls from the other side, and not expressing to try and get more. The thing about your milk supply is, in a normal perfect world, your body's going to produce as much as you need it to produce. So let's say you have twins, it's going to produce enough milk to feed both of those children. So if you're expressing and pumping a lot more than your baby needs, then your body's going to keep producing that, and I think it's easier to get clogs, and clogs cause mastitis, which is essentially no good. It's horrible infection that you get in your breast, and it's painful and you get really sick, and it's just not recommended. Another thing that was very, very common another thing you're playing with the noisiest toy. Another thing that was huge was that moms were going to stop overly and obsessively tracking every single feed, every single sleep, every single diaper. There are apps that allow you to do that, and they are not going to do that this time around. I did obsessively track James's sleep, eat, feeds, and poops and pees or whatever, wet diapers, through an app, and I really didn't mind that. I think I might try to not do that. Truthfully, I think it's not even going to be on my radar, because like I said, I will have a 2.5-year-old at the time, and that's probably going to be the least of my concerns. But that's not something that I'm like, I'm not doing that again. I'm standing firm. I thought it was really useful and functional, and I really appreciated it. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but I am not against the apps. I think that they're very useful, and that's just the kind of person that I am. I like to keep record, I guess. So a very interesting comment that was made was the fact that this mom is not going to vaccinate her children this time around, which I vaccinate my kids, and well, I vaccinated James and I will vaccinate my second. There were some vaccines I didn't really see necessary, like the chickenpox vaccine, just things like that. I have nothing against people who don't want to vaccinate their children. I think that everyone should have the right to choose. And what's so strange is that people get so mad at anti-vaxxers because they're afraid that they're going to start some sort of plague. Something's going to start going around. But isn't the point of vaccines to protect our children from what goes around? So if you're so worried about your children and you vaccinate them, then it doesn't matter, right? I don't know. I am not a medical professional, so don't listen to me. But I asked her what made her want to switch it up. So I figured I would leave this information in the video for you guys in case you're debating on whether or not to vaccinate. She says that there was a rapid increase. So she said that there is a rapid increase in vaccine injuries over the last 5 years. It's gone from 1 in 80 plus kids with autism to a projected 1 in 20 by 2025, and she doesn't want to risk that. And, you know, she also says, plus, some of the things that come with vaccines are scary, SIDS, seizures, a whole list of other possible side effects that are never discussed before the vaccine is given. And, of course, the ingredients that go into the vaccines, like metals and stuff. I really appreciated hearing her take on this because I might do more research on vaccines. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do about that because I really admire her opinions and her takes and the facts that she laid out. But at the same time, I am a very trusting person in just, I don't even want to say that I'm a trusting person in modern medicine and stuff because I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to look into it again because I guess we're figuring this out together. If you have any other opinions or advice or podcasts to listen to speak on this, I would really appreciate if you sent them my way because clearly I'm clueless. And now let's fast forward to me from the past filming the second half of this video. Clearly that was so chaotic and and this is chaos, my house is chaos, but I figured I'm not going to start it over again. I'm just going to pick up where I left off. There are a lot of people that are very against wanting to have visitors post-baby too soon. This is another one that I just don't have any opinions about. I am so thankful for people that want to go out of their way to visit me and my family and my children. And I am very thankful that I have so many people that want to love on me and want to love on my family. I know that there are some people that have family members and even friendships, which I don't even know why you would have friendships like this to begin with, but they have people that do not respect boundaries, that are they just bring a very negative energy with them. And I am all about respecting the people and our families. I'm all about respect for your parents, your in-laws. Nobody's perfect, but I think through Christ, you can really work through anything and you can really show kindness and forgiveness and just be the bigger person in everything. So, I don't know take with that what you will. Set your boundaries where you feel like you need to set boundaries, but always be kind. I think I'm kind of going off on a tangent that has nothing to do with the comment, but basically a lot of people don't want their kids around visitors for a long time, and I respect that, but that's just something that it's just not really something that I care to put my foot down about. So one thing common, this person said, I'm just mentally going to slow down more. I'm already prepared to taking more time off, only accepting gigs and performances, whatever she does, I don't know, that I want and that work with my availability. She said, I went to work full-time with my son strapped to my chest when he was only 2 weeks old, and I am not doing that again. And I am right there with her. I was so adamant that I was going to keep working after I had my son, and I had a very, very flexible job in admin work where I was able to work from home and I was able to just kind of get stuff done as the day went, and I didn't have to talk to anybody on the phone. I think that's a big thing. Like if you're in a job that requires you to make a lot of phone calls and talk to a lot of people, I can see why that wouldn't work, but I tried to make it work and it was terrible because I would stress so much when James was fussy, when he wouldn't sleep when I thought he was going to sleep. And just to conclude my statement on the fact that I thought I was going to go back to work and I thought that that's what I wanted, turns out that's not what I wanted at all. I loved the fact that my husband was like, hey, if we finagle our finances this way, if we sell a car, if we do this, if we cut back on this, then you can stay home full time with no issues That was the biggest blessing of my life, and I'm so thankful. So this one's a good one. It says, not going to be worried about milestones as much or wondering if my kiddo is behind his friends. This is so, so, so good. I really appreciate this person saying it, and I dealt with James being not necessarily delayed, but just not as fast to do things that other kids did. For example, he was a very, very late crawler. I don't think he crawled until 9 months, but then he started walking at 1. He didn't speak. He did speak a few things, but he didn't really communicate using words until he was 2. And there was a girl in a library class singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star at 12 months. So just make sure you're not comparing yourself to other people, because I did that a lot as far as the behavior of like my newborn, and not behavior, that's not the right word, but James was so fussy as a newborn, and he was so colicky, and I had so many issues, and I really wish I would have just accepted that James was just a little bit more challenging as a newborn, and that's okay. That's just him. And it was honestly all for the best, because that really, really, really strengthened my relationship with God. The first year of James's life was a bunch of me learning to give it over to God, and just accepting things for how they are, and just being very thankful that he's really not that bad. There are kids that have conditions that make things so much harder, and I was just worried about all of the wrong things. Remembering that everything is a phase. There's going to be a lot of sleepless nights and struggles, and it gets better. That is so true. Oh my gosh, that is so true. And it took me 2 years to truly, it took me 18 months to finally let go of the sleep situation, because James really regressed a lot at 18 months and at 2 years. And every single time was a time of reminding myself that it's just temporary. Even if it seems to be longer than temporary and it seems like it's never going to end, just reminding myself that it will end. And sometimes you just have to pivot, and sometimes you just have to deal with the fact that it might take up until 4 or 5 years for you to sleep again normal. I leaned on God so much, and I still do when it comes to sleep, because lack of sleep will really, really get you, it'll really, really mess you up. So I just urge you to lean on God when it comes to being a parent. You can't do it alone, and you don't have to. I don't remember what book of the Bible or what verse it is, but it says, "Come to me all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Lean on that first. Meditate on that, because it is so true. Okay, this is a good one. A lot of people are saying that they do not want to co-sleep this time around. There is a difference between co-sleeping and bed sharing. I think a lot of people think co-sleeping means bed sharing. So I'm just going to lean on my own experience with this. I bed shared with James for 7 months, and I truly didn't mind it so much because I was nursing, so I was able to just roll over and just like put him on the boob. And I understand that is definitely, there are ways that bed sharing can be done safely, and there are ways that bed sharing can be done not so safely, and I understand that there are actual baby deaths that occur because of bed sharing. So I don't want to make this video about that, but I did bed share safely with James, and I don't want to do it this time around. I want to get a better bassinet. I'm going to put a picture of the bassinet and I'll link it down below. that I'm gonna get with this baby, because the first one that I got was just not functional. I love that this bassinet is essentially an extension of your bed, and that soon enough, whenever your baby doesn't nurse as much or whatever, you can zip them up and you can shove them a little further. I love that. I wish I could bed share forever. I just can't do it. The bed sharing wasn't the hardest thing for me to get past. What I really struggled with was the unpredictable bedtime. I really wanted to be able to put James down anywhere, I don't even care, somewhere safe, and then be able to go and spend time with my husband. And that was where I really struggled, because I remember I would be in the bedroom with him for 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours, just crying out to God, because I had an expectation of him being put down quick and then being able to go watch a movie and spend time with my husband, and it wouldn't happen. And you know, whenever your expectations just don't go as you planned and hoped, it can get really hard. I actually have a video on my YouTube, one of my first videos. There's not many, it's a newer channel, but I shared my experience as to how and why I decided to sleep train, and it was the biggest blessing of my entire life. It took prayer to ask God to change my heart on being against sleep training, and to give me the patience and the resources to sleep train, and it was amazing. So videos down below. Yes, so I definitely want to build better sleeping habits with my second, so I can have my room back and my privacy and intimacy with my husband back. I have a slumber pod also, so the slumber pod is going to go over the bassinet just to darken the room up a little bit. I don't think I'm going to close it completely, but just to give a little bit more darkness in our bedroom. And then whenever my husband and I are in the room either watching TV or we're changing, we can zip it up for the time being, and then just making sure it's unzipped whenever the baby is asleep, so I can just easily reach in and grab him. But I'm just so thankful that we invested in that slumber pod, because it has come in handy so much with our toddler, and now we're going to be able to utilize it with our baby and hopefully have just a better flow of things and just have more normalcy this time around. Oh, I do also want to add before I move on is contact naps. I contact napped with James for I think up until a year. Even after I decided to sleep train James at 7 months, I did not nap train him, so he still contact napped. And truthfully, I look back at that time and I probably would have changed things, but I look back now and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I held my baby and that I cuddled him so much and I was there for him so much. It didn't ruin him, like some people say. But I think that with this baby, I do want to make sure that if I want to put them in their bassinet or in their crib for a nap, that I am able to do that and just give them more accustomed to sleeping independently. But I also want to be able to contact nap with my son. I want to be able to have him sleep in the carrier wherever we are, because James was really good about that, and I do not want to change that with the second one. I want to make sure that I am able to be out and about and enjoy my day even during my newborn's nap time, because they sleep so much and I don't want to be trapped at home. So I want to just have a good balance of it all. With that being said, I also do want to make sure that this baby is okay with napping in their stroller versus me having to carry the baby. So that way I can just be a little bit more hands-on, and I can just be there for James more. This is another kind of like tangent-y conversation for me. This culture has created this toxic idea that whatever makes you happy, do it. It doesn't matter at whose expense. Do what makes you happy, what makes you feel good. I hate that so much. Let me speak directly for myself, because I don't want this to come off as judgy and rude and accusatory. I need to suck it up and do what is best for my baby and do what is best for my family first. If and when my relationship with Jesus is like this, I am good. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for everything. Truly, right now, I'm just going through a season of gratitude. It's been a 2-week ride of just me being so thankful to God for every single little, even just every sip of water that I take. I'm so thankful to the Lord for that. And that's because I've been in prayer and because I've been reading my Bible regularly. I highly encourage you, if you do not follow Jesus, to just try it. You try everything else. People try everything else to try to make them feel good, but they don't try Jesus. And I just promise you that Jesus, again, going back to that verse, come to me all who are wearied and burdened, and I will give you rest. That is so true. And that's what I love about being a follower of Christ, is that I can literally just give him everything and just lay at his feet and just sit with him for a minute, and he brings peace and joy and patience and love to you. That's the gift. I don't want this to be a super Christian focused video, even though I should and I want to and I love doing it, and whatever, who cares? I think that we really should just put our children first and what's best for them first, and the Lord will help us just be in a place where we can mentally be strong enough to handle that. There is a book, I have not read it yet, but I really want to. It's called You're Not Enough and That's Okay. It's by Ali Beth Stuckey. She is amazing. I love her so much. I love her political views. I love her theology. I love that she stands firm on her faith and her country and her children and her family. So she wrote a book that's, again, you are not enough and that's okay. And that's essentially what I'm trying to say, is like, you don't have to be everything and perfect, and you don't have to have it all together to do what's best for yourself and others, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to finish this video off now. Thank you so much for watching and for listening to me just rant, and for watching the chaos earlier. That was insane. I really hope that you stick around and want to watch another. I'm open to feedback, and I just hope that you have an amazing day.